It was 1983.
After contributing for years to La Voce degli Italiani, a newspaper, Italian newspaper in England, I decided to create a publication for the Italian community in Ireland. The Italian community in Ireland in those days was consisted of 3,000 individuals, of whom 1,000 of second and third generation. So I started this publication, but its beginnings were very, very modest, because I did not have either the technical means or the financial means to afford sophisticated printers. I remember that for the very first edition I had to type the text on a very modest Italian Olivetti portable typewriter, and then bring the text to the typographer, who was quite alarmed, because being all texts in Italian, told me that if he had to type them in a machine which was called in those days the compositor, it would have taken him ages. So he asked me to do the job for him. And I stayed in his place for several hours into the early hours of the morning, 2 a.m., to type very patiently all this text in this compositor. But we had the problems of accents, because the machine did not allow to reproduce accents on the clichés which were produced. So once the clichés were produced, with a little nail, I remember, we had to make little scratches to reproduce accents on vowels on accented Italian words. And finally, the clichés were used then to print the paper. Now, through the years, things did not improve, or shall I say, improved a little bit. I could not afford computers, so therefore I had to use first a golf ball typewriter, then a more sophisticated typewriter, which would create columns. But I had the problems of the so-called dropped caps, that is the large, bold letter at the beginning of each article, of each column. So, once I created those spaces, I eventually would type large capital letters, go to a copy shop and have them enlarged, and then come home, cut them down and paste them on the space at the beginning of each column, of each article, which was created to receive these letters. So it was a very patient job. Not only that, but for the type of printing I could afford, the system for years was just typing the columns, then paste them down on sheets of paper, do the layout by physically pasting all these columns and photographs, go to the printer, who eventually would continue the process and arrive at the finished product. So nowadays, of course, things have changed. Now I am availing of digital printing, which has made quite great advancements in the last few years, by means of PDF files comfortably created on computer and sent to the typographer electronically. So from very modest beginning, now Italia Stampa, which is a magazine with just the front cover in color of 16 pages, coming out every 2 months, about 5 issues a year. I cannot afford more than that. Is fulfilling the role of a real information periodical for our community, and because of its name, Italia Stampa periodical for the Italians and Friends of Italy in Ireland, it also contributes to the process of integration of our community in this country.
Italia Stampa is complemented with a thriving website, www.italvideonews.com, a most important source of articles, video reports and documentaries. It is also powerfully present in YouTube with about 300 interesting videos.
With great sense of dedication and professional approach, I do hope I can continue producing it.